The birth of Islam is a significant milestone in human history, marking the emergence of a major world religion that has influenced cultures, politics, and societies across the globe. Islam traces its origins to the early 7th century CE in the Arabian Peninsula, where a profound spiritual and social transformation unfolded under the guidance of the Prophet Muhammad. Here, we explore the key events and principles that shaped the birth of Islam. Muhammad was born around 570 CE in the city of Mecca, which was a bustling commercial and religious center. As a young man, he gained a reputation for his honesty, integrity, and contemplative nature. At the age of 40, Muhammad received a revelation from God through the angel Gabriel, marking the beginning of his prophetic mission. The revelations that Muhammad received were later compiled into the Holy Book of Islam, the Quran. These revelations emphasized the oneness of God, Allah, the importance of justice, compassion, and the moral responsibilities of individuals. The message of Islam called for the worship of the one God and urged people to submit to his will. Initially, Muhammad's message faced resistance from the powerful elites in Mecca, who perceived his teachings as a threat to their economic and religious interests. However, Muhammad's followers, known as Muslims, remained steadfast in their faith. Facing persecution, some Muslims sought refuge in the Christian kingdom of Abyssinia, modern-day Ethiopia, under the protection of the Negus. In 622 CE, Muhammad and his followers migrated from Mecca to the city of Medina, an event known as the Hijra. This migration marked a turning point in the growth of the Islamic community and is considered the beginning of the Islamic calendar. In Medina, Muhammad established a cohesive community based on principles of justice, unity, and religious tolerance. Medina also became the stage for a series of battles known as the Wars of Islam, fought between the Muslims and the Meccan Quraysh tribe. These battles were fought in self-defense, as the Quraysh sought to extinguish the growing influence of Islam. Despite being outnumbered, the Muslims were able to defend themselves and eventually gained the upper hand. In 630 CE, Muhammad and his followers triumphantly returned to Mecca, where they peacefully reclaimed the city. The Kaaba, the ancient shrine in Mecca, which had been associated with various idols, was cleansed and rededicated as a center of monotheistic worship. This event is known as the conquest of Mecca and marked a turning point in the spread of Islam. Muhammad continued to consolidate his leadership and provide guidance to the rapidly expanding Muslim community until his death in 632 CE. He emphasized the importance of unity among Muslims, social justice, and the establishment of a moral society. His teachings and example laid the foundations for the ethical and legal principles of Islam. Following Muhammad's death, the Muslim community faced challenges in establishing a leadership structure. This led to a succession crisis and the division of Muslims into different sects, primarily Sunni and Shia. Despite these divisions, Islam continued to spread, reaching vast territories across the Middle East, North Africa, and beyond. The birth of Islam brought about profound changes in Arabian society and had a lasting impact on the world. Islam introduced a comprehensive system of beliefs, practices, and moral principles that shaped personal conduct, family life, and governance. It provided a sense of identity and unity among diverse populations and contributed to the development of rich intellectual, scientific, and artistic traditions. Today, Islam is embraced by more than 1 billion people worldwide and is one of the world's major religions. It has left an indelible mark on human history, shaping the political, cultural, and social landscapes of numerous societies. The birth of Islam remains a testament to the transformative power of religious faith and the enduring legacy of the Prophet Muhammad's teachings. The Prophet Muhammad, born in 570 CE in the city of Mecca, Saudi Arabia, is the central figure of Islam. He is revered as the last and final prophet, chosen by God, Allah, to deliver the message of Islam to humanity. Muhammad's life and teachings have had a profound impact on the world, shaping the beliefs, practices, and values of millions of Muslims across the globe. Here, we delve into the life, character, and legacy of the Prophet Muhammad. Muhammad grew up in Mecca, a bustling trade center and religious hub in the Arabian Peninsula. Even before his prophethood, he was known for his integrity, honesty, and wisdom. He would often retreat to the cave of Hira to engage in contemplation and spiritual reflection. At the age of 40, Muhammad received his first revelation from God through the angel Gabriel while in the cave of Hira. These revelations continued for the next 23 years and formed the basis of the Quran, the holy book of Islam. Muhammad would recite the revelations to his companions, who would then memorize and write them down, thus preserving the scripture for future generations. Muhammad's message centered on the belief in the oneness of God, Tawhid, and the importance of submitting to his will, Islam. He emphasized monotheism, rejecting the polytheistic beliefs prevalent in Mecca at the time. Muhammad's teachings also focused on establishing justice, compassion, and ethical conduct in personal, social, and political spheres. Initially, Muhammad faced resistance from the powerful elites in Mecca, who saw his message as a threat to their economic interests and the traditional polytheistic practices associated with the Kaaba, the sacred sanctuary in Mecca. The early Muslim community faced persecution, and many were subjected to harsh treatment. In 622 CE, Muhammad and his followers migrated from Mecca to the city of Yathrib, later renamed Medina. This migration, known as the Hijra, marked a significant turning point in the growth of the Islamic community. In Medina, Muhammad established a cohesive society based on justice, unity, and the principles of Islam. He mediated disputes, implemented social reforms, and established treaties with various tribes. In Medina, Muhammad also formed alliances with both Muslim and non-Muslim groups, fostering a spirit of cooperation and religious tolerance. This period witnessed the expansion of the Muslim community and the consolidation of Islamic principles in governance, law, and social affairs. Muhammad's military campaigns were not aggressive conquests but defensive measures against those who threatened the existence of the Muslim community. He aimed to protect the rights and freedom of Muslims, as well as secure the broader region from political instability and oppression. Throughout his life, Muhammad exemplified noble character traits such as humility, compassion, forgiveness, and generosity. He emphasized the importance of moral conduct and encouraged his followers to exhibit kindness, fairness, and honesty in their interactions with others. Muhammad's personal life was marked by simplicity and modesty, and he maintained close relationships with his companions and family. Muhammad's teachings extended beyond spiritual matters to encompass a comprehensive framework for personal and social life. He provided guidance on various aspects, including family relationships, commerce, ethics, governance, and education. His teachings formed the basis of Islamic law, Sharia, and continue to shape the lives of Muslims worldwide. Muhammad's final sermon, delivered during his farewell pilgrimage in 632 CE, encapsulated the core principles of Islam and emphasized the equality and rights of all individuals. His teachings and example inspired his companions and generations to come, establishing a legacy of social justice, compassion, and the pursuit of knowledge. The Prophet Muhammad's death in 632 CE marked the end of his earthly life, but his impact and influence endure. His mission as a prophet was to convey the message of Islam and guide humanity to the path of righteousness. Muhammad's teachings continue to be studied, reflected upon, and followed by millions of Muslims around the world, making him a beloved and revered figure. In conclusion, the life of the Prophet Muhammad represents a profound spiritual journey and a transformative force in human history. His teachings and character have shaped the beliefs, practices, and values of Muslims worldwide, providing guidance for personal conduct, social interaction, and the pursuit of a just and harmonious society. The legacy of the Prophet Muhammad serves as an enduring source of inspiration and guidance for Muslims seeking to live a life of faith, compassion, and service to humanity. The 5 pillars of Islam are the foundational principles that guide the faith and practice of Muslims worldwide. These pillars encompass key aspects of worship, charity, fasting, pilgrimage, and the declaration of faith. Each pillar holds its own significance and represents a fundamental obligation for every practicing Muslim. The first pillar, Shahada, revolves around the declaration of faith. By reciting the Shahada, Muslims affirm their belief in the oneness of God, Allah, and the prophethood of Muhammad. This declaration serves as the bedrock of Islamic belief, emphasizing monotheism and acknowledging Muhammad as the final messenger of Allah. Salah, the second pillar, represents the obligatory prayers performed by Muslims. These 5 daily prayers serve as a means of establishing a direct connection with Allah, seeking guidance, expressing gratitude, and seeking forgiveness. Salah is a practice that fosters spiritual discipline, mindfulness, and a sense of devotion in the life of a Muslim. Zakat, the third pillar, encompasses the act of giving charity to the less fortunate. Muslims are required to donate a portion of their wealth, typically 5%, to support those in need and promote social justice. Zakat serves to purify one's wealth, promote empathy, and alleviate poverty, fostering a sense of compassion and solidarity within the community. Sawm, the fourth pillar, refers to the obligatory fasting observed during the holy month of Ramadan. From dawn until sunset, Muslims abstain from food, drink, and other physical needs. Fasting in Ramadan serves as a means of self-discipline, self-control, and spiritual reflection. It instills qualities of patience, empathy for the less fortunate, and gratitude for the blessings of life. The fifth pillar, Hajj, is the pilgrimage to the holy city of Mecca in Saudi Arabia. Every physically and financially capable Muslim is expected to undertake this pilgrimage at least once in their lifetime. The Hajj is a profound spiritual journey that involves rituals and acts of worship at various sacred sites. It symbolizes unity, equality, and the universal brotherhood of believers. Together, these 5 pillars of Islam provide a comprehensive framework for a Muslim's faith and practice. They encompass the spiritual, social, and moral dimensions of a Muslim's life. Observing the pillars strengthens the individual's relationship with Allah, fosters a sense of community, and promotes social justice and compassion. While the 5 pillars hold immense importance, it is crucial to note that Islam encompasses a broader set of beliefs and principles that guide all aspects of a Muslim's life. These pillars are not isolated acts of worship but rather an integrated part of a comprehensive Islamic lifestyle, encompassing ethics, morality, family values, and societal responsibilities. In conclusion, the 5 pillars of Islam serve as the foundation of Muslim faith and practice. They encompass the declaration of faith, ritual prayers, charitable giving, fasting, and pilgrimage. Observing these pillars strengthens the spiritual connection with Allah, fosters a sense of community, and promotes social justice and compassion. The 5 pillars are integral to the Islamic way of life and provide a roadmap for Muslims to lead a devout and fulfilling existence. Islamic art and architecture are renowned for their distinctive and intricate designs, embodying the cultural and religious values of the Islamic world. Spanning from the 7th century to the present day, Islamic art and architecture have evolved and flourished across various regions, reflecting the diversity and richness of the Islamic civilization. In this discussion, we explore the key characteristics, influences, and contributions of Islamic art and architecture. Islamic art encompasses a wide range of artistic forms, including calligraphy, geometric patterns, arabesques, ceramics, textiles, metalwork, and architecture. One of the most notable features of Islamic art is its emphasis on non-representational or abstract forms, as figurative representation of humans or animals is largely avoided due to religious principles that discourage idolatry. Calligraphy, the art of beautiful writing, holds a central position in Islamic art. The intricate and stylized Arabic script is used to transcribe verses from the Quran and other religious texts. Calligraphy is not merely a decorative element but also a means to visually express the divine word and capture the essence of spiritual messages. Geometric patterns are another hallmark of Islamic art. Intricate geometric designs, often based on circles, squares, and stars, are meticulously crafted to create complex patterns that repeat and interlock seamlessly. These patterns symbolize the infinite nature of God's creation and reflect the harmony and order found in the universe. Arabesque motifs, characterized by intricate interlacing patterns of foliage, vines, and tendrils, are prevalent in Islamic art. Arabesques represent the beauty and abundance of nature and serve as a reminder of the divine creation. They are commonly found in architectural ornamentation, ceramics, and textiles. Islamic architecture is renowned for its grandeur, innovation, and attention to detail. Islamic architectural styles vary across regions, reflecting local traditions and influences. One of the most iconic architectural forms is the mosque, the Islamic place of worship. Mosques often feature domes, minarets, prayer halls, and intricately decorated mihrabs, prayer niches, that indicate the direction of Mecca. The most famous example of Islamic architecture is the Great Mosque of Mecca, Al-Masjid al-Haram, which houses the Kaaba, the holiest site in Islam. Its massive scale and intricate design exemplify the grandeur and spiritual significance of Islamic architecture. Another architectural masterpiece is the Alhambra in Granada, Spain. Built during the Islamic rule of the Iberian Peninsula, the Alhambra showcases the fusion of Islamic and Moorish architectural styles. Its intricate tile work, delicate arches, and lush gardens create a tranquil and awe-inspiring atmosphere. Islamic architecture also features notable achievements in engineering and construction. The development of techniques such as the pointed arch, ribbed vaults, and the use of geometric proportions allowed for the creation of expansive spaces, soaring domes, and intricate decorative elements. In addition to mosques, Islamic architecture includes palaces, fortresses, mausoleums, and madrasas, educational institutions. These structures serve both practical and symbolic functions, providing spaces for governance, learning, and commemoration. The influence of Islamic art and architecture extends far beyond the Islamic world. The spread of Islam brought with it a rich cultural exchange, as artistic ideas and techniques were exchanged with neighboring regions and cultures. Islamic architectural styles influenced Byzantine, Persian, Indian, and European architectural traditions, leaving an indelible mark on global architectural heritage. Islamic art and architecture continue to thrive in the modern era. Contemporary artists and architects draw inspiration from traditional Islamic motifs and techniques, combining them with innovative approaches to create new expressions of Islamic art. This dynamic fusion reflects the ongoing vitality and relevance of Islamic artistic traditions. In conclusion, Islamic art and architecture are distinguished by their intricate designs, non-representational forms, calligraphy, geometric patterns, and arabesque motifs. Islamic architecture showcases grandeur, innovation, and attention to detail, with mosques and other structures serving as prominent examples. The influence of Islamic art and architecture has transcended time and geography, leaving an enduring legacy and enriching the global artistic heritage. Women in Islam have played a significant role throughout history, and their status and rights have been shaped by various factors, including cultural practices, societal norms, and interpretations of religious texts. While there are diverse experiences and perspectives among Muslim women worldwide, it is essential to examine the principles and teachings of Islam that emphasize gender equality, women's rights, and their important contributions to society. Islam recognizes the inherent dignity and equality of all individuals, regardless of their gender. The Quran, the holy book of Islam, emphasizes the spiritual equality of men and women, stating that both were created from a single soul and are partners in faith and righteousness. Islam affirms the equal worth, rights, and responsibilities of women and men in the sight of God. The role of women in Islamic societies has varied across time and regions. In the early days of Islam, women actively participated in religious, political, and social spheres. They played crucial roles as scholars, leaders, entrepreneurs, and caregivers. Examples include Aisha, the wife of Prophet Muhammad, who was renowned for her knowledge and leadership, and Khadija, a successful businesswoman and the first wife of the Prophet. Islam grants women numerous rights and protections. Women have the right to education, employment, ownership, and inheritance. Islamic law recognizes a woman's right to consent in marriage and the prohibition of forced marriages. It also prohibits any form of physical or emotional abuse. Moreover, women are entitled to financial support, including their own income and property rights, ensuring economic autonomy. Islam encourages modesty in both men and women, promoting values such as humility, decency, and self-respect. Modesty in dress and behavior is encouraged to maintain social harmony and to prevent objectification. While the concept of modesty varies among different cultures and interpretations, it is ultimately a personal choice and expression of faith. The hijab, which is commonly associated with Islamic attire, is a visible expression of modesty for many Muslim women. It is a personal decision made in accordance with one's understanding of religious teachings and cultural traditions. It is important to note that wearing the hijab or any form of modest dress should not be perceived as a measure of a woman's piety or worth, but rather as a personal choice and expression of faith. Unfortunately, cultural practices and patriarchal interpretations have at times limited women's rights and opportunities within certain societies. These practices are rooted in cultural traditions rather than Islamic teachings. It is essential to distinguish between cultural practices and the true teachings of Islam in order to address gender inequality effectively. In recent times, there has been a growing movement within Muslim communities to promote gender equality and challenge harmful cultural practices. Muslim women are actively engaging in various fields, including academia, politics, science, arts, and social activism, making valuable contributions to their communities and societies at large. Islamic scholars and activists are re-examining religious texts and interpretations to promote a more inclusive and egalitarian understanding of Islam. They emphasize the importance of justice, equality, and women's empowerment as core Islamic values. Efforts are being made to ensure that women have equal access to education, economic opportunities, leadership roles, and decision-making processes. It is crucial to approach the topic of women in Islam with cultural sensitivity and a nuanced understanding. Women's experiences and roles vary across diverse Muslim societies and communities. It is not appropriate to generalize or stereotype the experiences of all Muslim women based on a few cultural or societal practices. In conclusion, Islam upholds the inherent dignity, equality, and rights of women. It emphasizes their equal worth and contributions to society. While cultural practices and interpretations have influenced women's experiences in various ways, efforts are being made to promote gender equality, challenge harmful practices, and empower women within an Islamic framework. Muslim women continue to make significant contributions to their communities, shaping and enriching the diverse tapestry of Muslim societies worldwide. Sufism, also known as Islamic mysticism, is a spiritual path within Islam that focuses on the inward journey of the soul and seeks to attain a deeper understanding of the divine reality. It is a mystical and experiential approach to Islam, emphasizing the personal relationship between the individual and God. In this discussion, we explore the key principles, practices, and significance of Sufism within the broader Islamic tradition. At its core, Sufism is rooted in the teachings of the Quran and the life of the Prophet Muhammad. Sufis seek to embody the essence of Islam, emphasizing love, devotion, and surrender to the divine will. They strive for spiritual purification, self-discipline, and the attainment of nearness to God. One of the central principles of Sufism is the concept of Tawhid, the oneness of God. Sufis believe that God's presence permeates all of creation and that the ultimate purpose of human existence is to recognize and experience this divine unity. They emphasize the need for self-transformation, spiritual awakening, and the realization of one's true nature in order to attain a deeper connection with the divine reality. Sufis employ various practices to cultivate spiritual growth and realization. Dhikr, the remembrance of God, is a central practice in Sufism. It involves the repetition of divine names, sacred phrases, or prayers as a means of focusing the mind, purifying the heart, and attuning oneself to the divine presence. Dhikr can be performed individually or in groups, often accompanied by music or rhythmic movements to facilitate a meditative state. Another significant practice in Sufism is Sama, which involves listening to or engaging in devotional music and poetry. Sama gatherings, often referred to as whirling dervishes, are characterized by rhythmic movements, chanting, and spiritual contemplation. The goal of Sama is to induce a state of spiritual ecstasy, transcending the limitations of the ego and merging with the divine presence. Meditation and contemplation are also integral to Sufi practice. Sufis engage in deep introspection, reflecting upon the nature of existence, the divine attributes, and the mysteries of the soul. Through meditation, they aim to still the mind, detach from worldly distractions, and cultivate a heightened awareness of the divine presence within and around them. Sufism places great emphasis on the guidance and companionship of a spiritual teacher, known as a sheikh or murshid. The sheikh acts as a guide, mentor, and exemplar of spiritual realization. They provide guidance, support, and instruction to the seeker on their spiritual path, helping them navigate the challenges and stages of the journey. The ultimate goal of Sufism is the experience of divine union, known as fana, or annihilation of the self. Sufis seek to transcend the limitations of the ego and merge their consciousness with the divine reality, experiencing a sense of oneness with God. This state of spiritual realization is accompanied by love, joy, and a deep sense of inner peace. Sufism has made profound contributions to the Islamic tradition and has had a significant impact on Islamic art, literature, and spirituality. Sufi poets such as Rumi, Hafiz, and Ibn Arabi have left a lasting legacy of profound mystical poetry that expresses the depths of divine love and spiritual longing. Sufism also emphasizes the importance of ethical conduct, compassion,